Why are snails terrible at racing? Because they're always sluggish. What's going on, YouTube? It's the weekend. We're inside of the Hollow City, inside Cold Harbor, to go over our weekly vendor, and we have ourselves an interesting weekend because we start off with a golden throne, not quite the golden throne, a golden throne. You get what I mean. Then we have a archway here with 4 columns, pretty huge. Then we got a brazier, another brazier, a dome, mosaic, a gazebo, a shrine tomorrow, wedding blossoms, wedding gazebo, and wedding pergola fair. So this is actually a really good weekend. The reason we talk about this vendor is not just because you guys are like, oh look, furnishings, cool. It's actually because a lot of this stuff could either have good resale value, it could be good value for you. If you play on PC, it's almost always worth buying these furnishings to resell at a later date, especially the Shrine of Mara. This is an absolute banger, if you will, because the shrines of all the gods, and even the Daedric ones, they sell crazy expensive. This is a great one to pick up, but also don't sleep on the mosaic dome, because this is a pretty big boy, and that could be used to decorate a lot of houses as an exterior design, kind of a building piece, but pretty much everything here is pretty good. Even the braziers are not too bad. This archways, the throne. This is a pretty good week for furnishings. This is actually probably one of the best weeks, especially when you consider the fact that this is one of the best in slot furnishings to resell at a later date. Before we jump into our next video here, this is actually just kind of a quick update to the event video that was released yesterday, because a lot of things were changed. Numero uno, the ability to get double resources from surveys was a glitch, not intended, and it is gone. Unfortunately, you're not going to get double resources from your surveys at this time. The other thing too is writs. It is no longer going to give you a bonus writs when you turn them in. However, instead, when you turn in your daily crafting writs and you get a new writ book, you're going to have a book with double the normal writs that you would get on it. Unfortunately, it seems like there was a lot of glitches and things when they were implementing this update, and because of that, there was a lot of things that went wrong, coding-wise and whatnot. So, unfortunately, that's where we are with the crafting event. Still a great event, though. I stand by that, but different than what we expected. So inside of Cyrodiil, we are now at our golden vendor, and we start off with Stormfist. Stormfist is actually a pretty cool set. Basically, when you deal damage, you create a Thunder Fist. It looks pretty cool, actually. That deals damage, shock damage, as you can imagine. Being captured by a Thunder Fist is a pretty damaging experience if you're the enemy, and then it damages them to the enemies within 4 meters, and then it deals a final damage to them afterwards. It's a pretty good set. However, it is an old set. It actually comes from Tempest Island. Is one of the first dungeon sets in the game, monster sets that is, and I could encourage you guys to go out and grind this if you're interested, and then buy the shoulders with your Undaunted keys, but you're not going to want to purchase this with any AP or gold. You're just going to go out and get it. And then there's Troll King, which unfortunately has lost its utilization entirely, and you'd be hard-pressed to figure out what it is if you don't remember what made it so good. When you heal yourself or an ally, if they're below 50% of their health recovery is increased by 893 in 10 seconds. Well, dear friends, increased health recovery is not that good for PvP anymore because they nerf health recovery, unfortunately. So your health recovery is not going to be its total number when you go into a PvP area. So if this was actually just giving you health per second and not health recovery, this would be totally different. But Troll King has fallen out because of it. There are still some people that use it, very niche circumstances, but as far as its utilization that you used to see, where tons of people would wear this with Blood Spawn, those were really the 2 monster sets for PvP that people would switch between. Just don't see that anymore. Next up, we have a fantabulous set, which is Crimson Oath. Now, Crimson Oath is a little bit convoluted in what it does. We can summarize it by the line here. It reduces the armor of nearby enemies within 12 meters by 3,541. So it kind of weakens everybody around you, and overall, that's great. This comes from the Dread Cellar dungeon. You're going to want to wear the jewelry pieces. It's probably one of the best off-tank sets. I believe it's used as an off-tank, and if you're tanking, you're going to want this set. Best in slot for a lot of things, so if you want that, go out and purchase it. It looks cool, acts cool, easy to proc. It's a pretty easy to use set, in my opinion, especially versus some of the other ones. And overall, it's pretty great. Next up is a set that's really unique. It is a set that is very specific at what you're trying to do with it. But let's talk about it. Dealing damage with a fully charged heavy attack calls a bolt of lightning at your target, dealing some shock damage leaving a 4-meter lightning crater. Not quite sure how lightning causes a crater, but then that does affect damage around it. This is actually pretty popular for heavy attack builds for PvP, but overall, not a huge fan of heavy attack builds for PvP, so it's kind of like, it's good at what it does, but I don't generally suggest it, so where do you put that on a scale? I put it right where I would say, if you want to try it, go out, farm the dungeon for it, but personally, I'm not going to suggest it to you. It comes from Red Petal Bastion. Give it a shot if you like it, and then if you really like it, buy the upgrade mats for it and do it that way. Next up is Undertaker. Undertaker, in my opinion, suffers from the unnamed buff curse, because when you deal damage, you apply minor lifesteal to your enemy for 8 seconds. Great, cool, but here's the problem. You can already do that very easily. If you could get an unnamed version of lifesteal, you know, where it was just not lifesteal itself, it would be so much better. For those of you who don't know, if you have Major Berserk and Major Berserk, you only have one Major Berserk. You don't get an Extreme Berserk. It's just Major Berserk once. So you cannot stack buffs. You can stack major and minors, major, minors, and unnamed buffs, but you cannot stack major buffs together. And because of that, the set just doesn't have a whole lot of utilization, if any. Next up is another one of those sets that I think could be tweaked slightly to be just a little bit faster or give a little bit more. When you take damage, you generate 6 ultimate, but it can only occur once every 5 seconds. 6 ultimates, pretty good. You can do a lot with ultimate for PvE, PvP purposes. However, your 2 is a health, your 3 is a stamina, and your 4 is a weapon and spell damage, which means you probably are going to want to use this for PvP. You're probably going to curtail this to some sort of stand PvP character. You could slap this on a Dragon Knight, and I'm sure you could be ulting and ripping and rearing away. But the problem with PvP sets, especially those geared towards Dragon Knights, is there's so many good Dragon Knight sets, other sets that can generate ultimate. And even though getting ultimate is generally really good, because ultimate abilities are generally pretty good, it's probably not going to be a set that you want to use for that. But everyone, what did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. It'll be kind of our question of the day, to kind of make this video a little bit shorter, because sometimes these Golden Vendor videos are a little long, so I'm trying to condense them a little bit for you guys, especially because we also had to provide an update as to the event yesterday. And I just want to thank you guys again. And if you do like the actual housing vendor, let me know, because I know we talk about it in every Golden Vendor video, so it's kind of like our question. Do you like the Golden Vendors? Do you like one more than the other? Do you like the Furnishing Vendor? What does that usually look like for you? But as a purchaser, of somebody who comes and watches these videos, do you care about both? Do you care about one more than the other? Do you care solely about monster sets versus golden rings versus furnishings and stuff? Let me know. And thank you guys again. We're still doing our 3 giveaway drawings. To enter, you just answer that question. Second thing is just be subscribed. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. The third thing is look for an Amazon code flashed upon the screen. We're halfway through the month of February, so statistically, it'll be posted very soon. And I just want to thank you guys again, because I have to, because you're here watching this video, and that's always fantabulous to think. It's never lost on me. Today is also my 27th birthday. I know that people think I look exceptionally young. I've not been jaded by life too much yet, so it's always fun to spend this time with you guys, even on days where I'm like rushing to get back. And like, guys, I gotta go to the Golden Vendor, fellas, and then I'll come back out and be able to do some more stuff later. So thank you guys so much again. I'll catch you later, and hope you have a great February 16th. Bye, guys.
You better remember to like and subscribe to Jake Clips. Or you should. I might have to pluck your eyes if you don't. Or, better yet, I'll skip rope with your entrails. Do it now. Subscribe. Ta-ta. Off with you.